I should probably go and figure out how a stone brought my boyfriend back in someone else's body.
This is rape. It's official. Wonder Woman is a rapist. There's finally a superhero representing some of the worst pieces of shit human beings ever. Finally, progress. I honestly don't know what to say. I don't understand how this movie was made. Wonder Woman 1984 is one of those rare films where it's hard to fathom what exactly they were aiming for. This film is a mixture of Bollywood nonsensical action sequences, comic book movie cliches, boring dialogue that makes you want to stop watching the film.
Dynamite. What do you think?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Saw a couple magazine pictures that roll these up.
I think we can do better. I think we can do better.
And the finale, that's just bullshit. The world goes from nuclear Armageddon to everything is safe now in one of the most retarded ways I have seen executed in a film. Everyone just wishes things go back to normal. Literally. And it doesn't make sense out of context or in context. It's dumb either way. This is a really stupid movie. There's no two ways around it. Nothing in this movie makes any goddamn sense, and the experience of sitting through 2 hours of this garbage was exhausting. Not as bad as something on the level of Suicide Squad, but still pretty bad. I was not a fan of the first Wonder Woman movie. I thought that movie was terrible. I even did a 20 minutes review that got re-uploaded to my channel back in March of last year, and I still stand by that video. The first Wonder Woman movie is a bad film, highly overrated. Having seen this one, however, all I can say is that this one is worse. Far worse. Not just that, I'd rather watch Batman v Superman than this. That's how bad Wonder Woman 1984 is. At least the story and premise of BVS made some sense and you get what they were trying to do. Besides that, the action in that film was mountains better than anything in this one. The idea of building a Wonder Woman movie based on her trying to get over her dead boyfriend is such a weird premise for a superhero story, and the execution, Jesus Christ. We knew Chris Pine was coming back, he was in a trailer after all, we just didn't know what type of excuse they would use to bring him back. They went with the old magic rock grants wishes excuse. Literally. It's not even an exotic object from another country or another universe, it's literally a rock that grants wishes. Which is a pretty bad MacGuffin on its own. After all, is a magic rock the best thing they could think of? Before I go on, it might be best to explain what a MacGuffin is. A MacGuffin is an object or event that drives the plot forward because it motivates the characters. It's a plot device. The MacGuffin by itself is worthless, its only value is determined by how much the characters want it. For example, in the last Harry Potter movies, the Deathly Hallows were the MacGuffins. In almost every MCU movie, an Infinity Stone is used as a MacGuffin. In this movie, the MacGuffin is this magic rock. Amateur screenwriters could have come up with something less generic and more to do with the mythology of Wonder Woman. Like say, the antagonist having magical powers similar to Ares from the first film and bringing the boyfriend back as a way to torture Wonder Woman. That already sounds 10 times better than the magic rock. But leaving the rock aside for a minute, the way her wish is granted is just bizarre. She wishes her boyfriend was back, and I assumed he was gonna be brought back like that. He was going to be resurrected thanks to her wish. Turns out, whoever was in charge of writing this part of the story didn't thought that was enough. They had to fuck up this plot point to such a degree that the end result is Wonder Woman becoming a rapist. The soul of the character played by Chris Pine comes down from heaven and possesses a random guy who kind of looks like Chris Pine, and we don't know what happened to his soul. It's never stated that he's aware or agrees with everything Chris Pine's character is doing with his body. The only thing they say is that Chris Pine is controlling this random guy's body. That's it. And Wonder Woman is perfectly fine jumping on a random dick as long as the soul of her dead boyfriend is in control of that dick. This movie is so fucking weird. I don't get it, I really don't. How come no one involved in the creation of this film saw this artistic choice as fucked up? Because this is fucked up. Wonder Woman's dead boyfriend took over a random guy's body and had sex with her with no regard to whether or not the owner of the body was okay with this. That's rape. How come nobody figured this shit out? The film ends with Wonder Woman meeting the guy and him not recognizing her, so he obviously didn't agree to sleep with her. This entire scenario is just uncomfortable and extremely fucked up. I don't understand why this convoluted way of bringing the dead boyfriend back was needed in the first place. You have a magic rock that grants wishes. That's it. just bring the boyfriend back with his own body. There was never any need to possess a random guy on the street and turn Wonder Woman into a rapist. This movie is fucking weird. Leaving that plot point aside, let's talk about the villain. This thing. I can't be the only one who thought that when this guy wished to become the magic rock itself, he would immediately wish for oil to be discovered on his land, right?
Something... This is when it turns to gobbledygook?
I didn't understand anything. At first I thought, okay, he's just going to wish that all of his all the bad land that he bought has oil deposits on it.
Exactly. It's the thing that makes the most sense. After having the powers of a magic rock that grants wishes, this guy would just keep wishing for more things, and that would make him a danger to the world and eventually clash with Wonder Woman. But no, this movie likes to complicate things to such a degree that it's astonishing. Instead of him being able to automatically grant wishes for himself, he needs to ask a person for what they wish for while touching them, and then he grants that person's wish in exchange for something the person has that he wants, like a contract. He grants the person their wish and gets something in return. First of all, the rules of this magic system don't make any sense. Before he became the magic rock, Wonder Woman and the lady from Ghostbusters, the one who becomes a cat by the end of the film, had already asked for wishes and didn't need to give something in exchange. So when the movie added the rule with him asking for things in exchange, it's bullshit. The movie is making things up as it goes. There's no consistency. It felt like bullshit because it was bullshit. Not to mention needlessly complicated. The way magic works in this film is all over the place. Wonder Woman is supposed to be a warrior, but turns out she's also a magic caster who can turn airplanes invisible when needed. I guess she can do spells now. I don't know why she didn't use them in Batman v Superman against Doomsday. Also, she can fly. Wonder Woman flies. Why didn't she fly in Batman v Superman? Did she forget she could fly? Is this movie not in the same universe as BVS? None of these films work together. In the first Wonder Woman movie, they established that Wonder Woman is a goddess. I have seen comments that say she's a demigod, but no, I specifically remember the guy who played Ares saying that only a god could kill another god, and the sword called God Killer was a fake. That makes Wonder Woman a goddess.
Only a god can kill another god.
The lady who becomes a cat, her wish is to be more like Diana, and she gets the same powers as Diana. Does that mean the magic rock itself is far stronger than Wonder Woman? It has to, according to this film's logic. And by definition, the god that made the magic rock in the first place is far stronger than Wonder Woman. This god of lies seems to be on a whole other level compared to Ares and all other gods they introduced in the first film. He comes off like a cheap version of Thanos with the Infinity Gauntlet, an omnipotent being that can do anything the script required him to do. This entire storyline comes off like something out of the brain of a teenager. It doesn't feel like a movie written by professional, competent screenwriters who knew what they were doing. It feels like nonsense. Boring nonsense. And that's the big problem with this film. A lot of it is just that. Nonsense. I could go on ranting about the film point by point and listing everything I think the film did poorly, but I won't. I don't have the time, and this movie is too tiresome for me to give a shit. I'd rather do other things. I'm giving Wonder Woman 1984 a 3 out of 10. As I mentioned previously, my rating for the original film went up a point. It's now a 4 out of 10. I don't recommend watching this movie. Gal Gadot and Chris Pine look pretty, so does Pedro Pascal, so I guess there's that. But in terms of story, characters, or even entertaining action sequences, watch something else. This movie is a waste of time. Anyway, see you next time.